Hello and welcome back to the next tutorial in this series. Okay, today I want to set up a starting pose for the character. First, I'm just going to select this layer here and I'm just going to press and hold Control and the right mouse button and lasso select this and just I'm going to press M and I'm going to move it to the layer where our character currently resides. Okay, I'm going to left select this layer here. Right, I'm just going to drag this down and get it roughly in position. I'm going to press 3 for side view. Okay, and grab this and drag it in. Okay, it's a little bit large at the moment. I might just press S and scale it down slightly. I'm going to press 1. I need to rotate this, so I'm going to press R to rotate. Z for the Z axis. 90 is wrong, so I'm just going to right click. R to rotate. Z for the Z axis. -90 and enter. Okay. And it's still a little bit big, so I'm just going to press S and scale it down. I can always change this later. Okay, press 1 for front view and maybe about here. Right, I'm going to select one of the control bones of the character, press Tab and left select pose mode. Okay, what I want to do is have this hand cupped around this area here and this hand over the top of the control. Okay, so I'm just going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom in and left select the right hand IK R. Okay, so it's hand IK R. And I'm just going to press G and I'm going to press X just to bring it in slightly. Okay, I'm going to press G and Z and just bring this down. I'm going to press R to rotate. I'm going to make sure I'm in local mode. So you press Alt space and left select local mode. I'm going to press R to rotate Z and just rotate his hand around. Just going to press and hold the middle mouse button. Okay, I'm going to press Control Z to undo that. I'm going to have a closer look when I do that. I'm going to press R to rotate, Z for the Z axis and just drag this forward. Okay. Left click to lock that in. I'm going to press Control 3 for left, and I'm in orthographic. Again, you can toggle between perspective and orthographic by pressing 5 on the keypad. I'm just going to grab this in the Y and drag it forward somewhere like this. I'm going to press 1 for front view and I'm just going to drag it in the X and just drag him over here. Okay, I'm going to grab this elbow target IK and just press G and just swing out his elbow, just bring it up. I'm going to select this control object on his shoulder and just press G and maybe just drag this down. Okay, now what I want to do is select the right IK hand bone again, and I'm going to change the manipulator to a rotation. So I'm just going to press Control space and left select rotation. I'm going to press 1 front view. I'm just going to grab this in the Y and just rotate around. Okay, maybe to about there. Maybe straighten it up. Okay, and grab it in the X and just rotate in. Somewhere like that for the moment. I'm just going to press 7 for top view and see where he's positioned. Okay, I still have the hand selected, so I'm just going to press G and Y and drag this out forward in the Y. Okay, and left click. I'm going to press G and X and just drag this over, maybe to about here. And now I'm just going to press 1 for front view. And I'm just going to select this. I'm going to maybe just rotate the finger down a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to grab these now and press S and just scale them in. And just left click when I'm happy. I'm just going to select the next one and press S and just scale this in. And again for the third one, left select, press S and just scale this in. And left click when I'm happy. Okay, now I just want to select his hand bone again and just drag this, rotate this into X. Maybe not that far. And maybe just up a little bit. Let's get his thumb over the... And I can just maybe rotate back like so, and now come in a little bit more in the X, but not that much. Okay, I'm just going to press S now and maybe scale that in. I'm going to select this finger here and maybe drag this in until it interacts with the... Okay, and for his thumb, I am just going to select this one here and maybe turn this down slightly. Select the bottom control of his thumb and maybe just rotate up to about there. Okay, I might just grab this top one and just press S and just drag it back out a little bit. Okay, not too bad, and just maybe rotate this up. Okay, so it looks like he has some sort of a grip on it. And I can grab these and maybe just rotate those in. And like so, so it's kind of cupped underneath. Okay, that wouldn't be too bad. I'm going to press 1 for front view. I'm going to select this and just press G. Maybe drag this out and down. I'm going to select this and press G. Just see, can I... Just want... Okay, I'm just going to tweak these a little bit. Press G, select this and press G and just drag it down. I'm going to press Control 3 for left view and press G and just maybe select this and press G and drag this down so it's not as high up. Okay, there's a little bit of twisting here on his hand. Select this and press Alt G. Just Control Z that to go back to where it was. Could be just his hand is a little bit twisted out of whack. Just going to press 1 and press G and see will that help. I can select these then and just press G. Okay, that looks a little bit better there. Press G on this one and maybe down slightly. Okay. I'm just going to press 7 for top view and see what I can do. Select this and press G and just drag this out. Press G and maybe drag this forward a little bit and see where we're at. Okay, that's a better curve on the arm. Again, just Control 3 for left. Maybe select this or this one here and press G. Drag it down slightly. Okay. And I can tweak this later on. I'm just going to do the far side. I'm just going to press 1 for front view. I'm going to just roll the mouse wheel to zoom in and left select his hand IKL, which is his left control, and press G and X and just drag this back. Just press and hold the middle mouse button. I'm going to press 3 for side view and press G and Y and just drag this forward. And press 1 and I'm just going to press and hold the middle mouse button, and I'm just going to grab this in the Z and maybe rotate slightly, and I'm going to press G and X and drag this over. Okay, press 1 for top view. I'm just going to select this and press G and maybe lift up his elbow select this, press G and Z and just drag this down. So I want to line up his thumb and his finger. Okay, just going to press 3 and I'm going to press G and Y and drag this back to about here. Okay, and maybe G and Y again and just drag this back to about here. Okay, now again I'm going to press 1. I'm going to select this control and just press G and maybe drag this out. For the moment, that will do. I'm going to select this shoulder, control and just press G and maybe just drop this down. Okay, what I want to do maybe is rotate this slightly and maybe up a little bit. I just want the focus to be on this and what he's doing with this control, so I might just press G and bring this back out slightly in the X. Okay, to about there, and G and Y maybe just drag forward. Okay, so I want these two fingers, I want his thumb and his finger to be controlling this and the other ones to be slightly out of the way. So I'm just going to select this and maybe rotate the finger around. Do the same thing for the thumb, just rotate that slightly and select this and just maybe actually select this and press S and I can select the hand and just bring it up somewhere like this. Again, select this control and press S and just drag it in like so. Press S and scale this in. Okay. I'm going to reselect the hand bone and press G and X and just pull these over. Okay. And that's not looking too bad. Maybe G and Y. I just drag this forward. Okay, press 1. Okay, that kind of gives the impression that I might just give a little bit of a twist on these. So I'm just going to select these and press S and just bend them in slightly. Press S, and the next one press S and maybe a nice bit in on that one. Also have control over the end of his hand and you can just maybe twist. Okay, so that's not too bad. I'm just going to select this bone and this control and press G and drag that up. Okay, I might do a little bit more tweaking, but for the moment I'm just going to press 1. I'm going to select this bone here and press G and Z. I'm just going to drag him down slightly just to give him a pose like this, and I'm going to select one of his knee controls and press 1. The knee target IK, okay, and just press G and just drag this out a little bit. Okay, and I might just grab his foot control and come back into front view and press R to rotate and Z and just turn that out slightly. And I can always grab it into Y and just turn up his boot a little bit. And maybe just grab the heel control and push back. I'm going to press 1 for front view. I'm going to select his head and just press R. And again, I'm in front orthographic, and it's important when you're rotating. Okay, I'm going to press R and just rotate this out. Okay, and I would be happy with this for the moment. I'm just going to press A once or twice to select everything. Actually, I don't need to press A once or twice. I'm just going to come over here to the armature panel, and I'm going to come down here to Pose Library. Just going to drag that back and display. Okay, under Pose Library, I'm going to left select New, and I'm going to left click the plus, and this menu comes up, and I'm just going to left select add new. Okay, I'm going to double click in here, and I'm going to rename this just as start pose, and enter. Okay, so if I press A once or twice, select everything, I can press Alt R, Alt G and Alt S, and that just brings me back to my default pose. And I'm just going to press A, come back over here, and this little button here, if I left click this, it snaps us back to his start pose. Excuse me. Okay, and that's going to form the basis. I want to create a couple more poses just before we move on any further. They're very handy to have. Okay, but for the moment I'm going to press Control S and save this, and that's going to be it for this tutorial. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.